Hi, everybody. I am Ryan Pratt, the VP of Marketing and Research at GradLeaders, and welcome to our third webinar of the year already. I cannot believe that it's March 8th already. I am joined today by our entire conference committee team. So that includes Michelle Dranchak, the Graphic Design and Visual Brand Manager, Katie Ewin, the Content and Digital Marketing Manager, Brian Furler, our Director of School Consulting, and Chelsea Gold, Training and Events Manager. A quick reminder before we kick this off, everyone has been automatically muted on entry. If you have any questions at any time throughout the webinar, feel free to type them into the chat window within WebEx. And please send your questions to both the all panelists so that the entire conference committee can see them. Today's agenda looks like this. First, we'll do a quick conference overview and give you kind of a virtual tour of the location of this year's event, Columbus, Ohio. Then a quick explanation of the differences between our pre-conference connections event and the main user conference. I know there have been a few questions about that. We're going to spend most of our time today diving deeper into the agenda and what you can expect at this year's conference, including our keynote speaker, Mark White, all the networking sessions we have planned, and the social events. We're hoping to keep the webinar presentation itself to about 30 minutes so that we can spend a bunch of time on the Q&A session with all of you. So let's dive in. After a quick glance at everyone attending today, it looks like about half the people on this webinar are registered for the event already and the other half aren't. Either way, we're hoping you walk away from this webinar today as excited about this year's event as we all are. We're not only excited about the agenda and all the interesting sessions and the great presenters this year, but we're also really excited to show off our hometown of Columbus, Ohio. This is actually our 13th conference. We've hosted events everywhere from Austin, Texas to California to Boston and Philadelphia. Our first conference was actually on South Beach at the old Avalon Hotel in Miami. And we've actually hosted this event in Columbus before, but we've never done it downtown. So the first thing we wanted to do today is highlight all the fun stuff Columbus has to offer. So I'm going to pass it over to Michelle to tell you a little bit more about that.
Hi everybody, I'm Michelle, and I was born and raised here in Columbus, Ohio, so it's fitting that I get to introduce you to my hometown. Columbus has been nicknamed the Silicon Valley of the Midwest and the biggest small town in America. It was listed as one of the 6 biggest cities in America in 2016 by Money Magazine, and National Geographic says that all the cool kids love Columbus, Ohio. Columbus has been attracting startups and venture capitalists across all industries. Cover My Meds, Crosschecks, BarkBox, Hot Chicken Takeover, Jenny's Ice Creams. In the past 5 years, more than 150 companies have moved to the area, and Columbus is considered a city on the rise. The cost of living here is reasonable. We have a highly educated workforce with more than 60 college and university campuses, and we're home to a solid business base, including the retailers L Brands and Abercrombie & Fitch. In 2015, Columbus saw the highest wage growth in the country, and we recently beat out 78 other cities to receive the U.S. Department of Transportation's Smart City Challenge, which awarded us $50 million in grants to modernize transportation. For the conference this year, we'll be right in the heart of downtown for the conference at the Renaissance Hotel. Hopefully you'll spend a little time while you're here exploring the area. In the downtown area, you can check out the recently renovated and expanded Museum of Art, the historic State House and grounds, a variety of theater venues, the main branch of our internationally renowned library system, which has also been newly renovated, along with some cool parks. If you head to the short north, you can do shopping, art galleries, and see Goodale Park, which is one of the oldest and largest parks in Columbus. It features 650 plus different species of trees. You can also walk down to the Scioto Mile and see our gorgeous riverfront, where you'll find a handful of parks and a really awesome multi-purpose trail. This is also home to COSI, where we'll have our conference social event on Wednesday evening. If beer is your thing, head over to the Brewery District and German Village for breweries, wineries, and a lot of really great food. You also might want to check out the Ohio State University campus while you're here and see the Gateway Film Center in the University District, which celebrates and supports independent and local films. Franklinton is also really close. This area has a rich history. It was the first settlement in Franklin County and is now home to the Columbus Idea Foundry and 400 West Rich. It's the heart of the innovators, makers, and artists of Columbus. I could go on and on. Franklin Park Conservatory, and for the sports fans, the Clippers, the Blue Jackets, the Columbus Crew Soccer Club, and of course, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We have more restaurants downtown than we can count, and to get you around to all of those areas, we have a robust bus system called CODA, and it includes a free downtown circulator bus called the C-Bus that basically follows this red loop. We also have a bike share system you can use, and Uber and Lyft both operate in Columbus. As I mentioned, the event will be hosted at the Columbus Renaissance Hotel, which is right in the heart of downtown. There are beautiful city views from the hotel rooms, plenty of great restaurants less than a block away, and even a Starbucks right across the street. The on-site hotel restaurant, Latitude 41, is a contemporary American place with a seasonal menu featuring local ingredients, an extensive wine list, and craft beer menu. The reduced room rate for our event is $149 a night for a king room. You must book by April 23rd to take advantage of this rate, and the rate is available May 6th through 11th, allowing for some flexibility in your stay if you have a tricky flight schedule or if you just want to spend a little extra time in our great city. Keep in mind that we are hosting 2 separate events with overlapping dates, so be sure you book the right dates depending on if you're attending Connections or the conference or both, and Ryan will tell us more about that in just a minute. You'll fly into John Glenn International Airport, which is about 8 miles from the hotel. There is no shuttle service, so if you want to take a taxi, Uber, or Lyft from the airport. And if you're driving in or local, valet parking is available at the hotel for $26 a day, and there are plenty of surface lots in the area with rates as low as $4 to $5 a day.
Thanks, Michelle. So yes, as she just mentioned, we're actually kind of hosting 2 different overlapping events this year. For those of you who are longtime customers, you'll either recognize these as the Connections Conference or the User Conference for all of our old MBA-focused customers, or as the CSO System Training and Networking Conference for all the old CSO Research customers. So don't be confused. This is the same old event, just a little bit better this year. Connections is the same thought leadership event, thought leadership and networking event, where we talk about industry challenges, brainstorm potential solutions to those challenges, hear from other thought leaders in the industry, and have plenty of time for networking. And the main user conference is all about hands-on system training, best practices, and how to use the technology itself. Connections kicks off with an opening night reception on Monday, May 7th. Then it includes a full day of panels, breakout sessions, plenty of informal and formal networking activities. And we actually have 2 panels planned this year. One on working smarter by automating processes. The panelists will include representatives from both career development offices and recruitment teams, and will include tips and tools to save you and your team time performing their daily tasks so that everyone can spend more time doing what they love about their jobs. The second panel is all about the future of diversity student recruitment, and it will include panelists from the Forte Foundation, MLT, Ramba, and Toego Foundation. In between those panels, we have lots of breakout sessions, so MBA career centers, campus-wide career centers, and recruitment teams can meet with their peers to discuss their specific challenges. There will also be sessions specifically about balancing the demands of earlier MBA recruiting schedules with MBA career centers and MBA recruiters in the same room. At the same time as that session, we also have an exciting presentation from Roger Woolsey, the Senior Assistant Dean and Director of the Center for Professional Development at Dartmouth College. He'll be talking about preparing our brick and mortar career centers for the next generation of 18-year-old students. Connections will wrap up where the main user conference actually begins with a keynote presentation from Mark White, and we'll tell you more about him in that session later. We're really excited about this event. Last year, it received a perfect 100% satisfaction rating from the attendees, and it's always been one of our most popular events, particularly for university presidents, deans, directors, VPs of talent acquisition, heads of recruitment teams, and chief talent officers. One of the reasons why is because it's a small, intimate setting that you don't get anywhere else, where everyone feels really open to share. but that also means that there is limited availability. So if you haven't registered, please do so as soon as possible. We've already got we've got a bunch of thought leaders from a ton of great schools and companies already signed up. We're also really excited about how the conference agenda is shaping up this year. There are over 30 sessions on the agenda, so I'm not going to read them all off to you, but everyone will be able to download both agendas as soon as this webinar is over, plus be on the lookout for an email including the agendas within the next week. The main conference also kicks off with an opening night reception on the hotel's rooftop bar. That's on Tuesday, May 8th. Then Wednesday, after a quick welcome message, we dive right into Mark White's keynote presentation about leading in disruptive times. Then from there on out, we basically have 5 tracks. One for GradLeaders Career Center Graduate Business School users, one for GradLeaders Career Center campus-wide and other school users, one for CSO System users, and one for the outcome survey users from both institutional research and career service offices. And then the 5th track this year is for GradLeaders Recruiting Employer users. So this is actually the first time we've had employers at our main conference, but we're really excited about this because as our user base continues to grow, we're excited to offer a special track at our conference just for those people. So there really will be something for every type of user. You've probably seen that in some of the invites you've received already. No matter what platform you're utilizing or thinking about using, or what type of industry or office you sit in, and no matter who you are, we have something for everyone. So now you know why we keep saying that this is going to be our biggest and best event yet. Last year, we only had a 95% satisfaction rating for this main conference, which I think is because it might have rained or something. But we're shooting for the perfect 100% on this event also this year. We're also really excited to bring back customer-led sessions. Right now, I believe we have 13 customer-led sessions, including presenters from Columbia Business School, the Schwartzman Scholars Program, MLT, Dartmouth College, Bradley University, Northwestern University, Comcast NBC Universal, Liberty Mutual, ACAD, Shenandoah University, Emmanuel College, and Ohio Dominican University right down the road. These are some of the sessions I'm most excited about this year, so we've done our best to stagger them in the agenda so that you can attend all of them. I'm also really excited about this. Both the Connections event and the main conference will have opening night receptions on Monday and Tuesday nights on the rooftop of the Renaissance Hotel. I've been to a few weddings here at night, and it's really gorgeous with great views of the city. It should be really fun. All right, before I hand this back over to Michelle to tell you more about our keynote speaker and the Wednesday evening social event, I just wanted to highlight, literally highlight, the special tracks in each agenda one last time so that you can see, no matter who you are, there's plenty of sessions for everybody. All right, Michelle.
Well, because we are hosting our Connections event and conference back-to-back this year, we're able to offer our keynote to attendees of both events. This year's keynote is titled Thriving in Disruptive Times, Tips for Managing Hyperchange, and is presented by Mark White. Mark is a local Columbus, Ohio author and educator and transplant from Austin, Texas. He served as a public school district superintendent here in Columbus before moving to China to serve as the academic principal of the Beijing Day School. Now he works as a consultant for the International Center for Leadership and Education and travels the country giving talks and consulting with schools. He's an expert on Generation Z, disruption, and hyperchange as they relate to education, and he has authored 2 books on the subject. Mark's keynotes are high energy, visual, and packed with fascinating information that will impact you professionally and personally. We're really excited to have him this year for both Connections and the conference. And keeping up with our core value of work hard, play hard, we have some fun social activities built into our conference. On Wednesday evening, we'll go to COSI, Columbus's very own Center of Science and Industry. COSI is a hands-on, interactive science and technology museum experience. It's been a staple of downtown Columbus since 1964. It's a 320,000 square foot facility packed with science, and we will have the whole space completely to ourselves for the evening. You will be served dinner and drinks and be able to explore the exhibits at your leisure with drinks from the open bar in hand. My personal favorite exhibits are Ocean, which explores water and all things undersea, and Progress, which is a walk through time, a historic street that you can literally walk through with shops and storefronts to explore. There's also a really cool natural history exhibit there now with huge dinosaurs, a hands-on gadgets exhibit, an outdoor science park, and so much more. I've been going to COSI since I was a little kid, and I still find fun new things every time I'm there. I think you're going to love it. And on Thursday morning, we will offer yoga on the hotel rooftop and a 5K fun run at the Scioto Mile with scenic views of the river. They just did a bunch of work on the green space in this area, and it's more beautiful than ever. We've also adjusted the schedules of these activities start a little later this year, so you don't have to get up quite so early to participate.
Thanks again, Michelle. So we made it through that pretty quickly, but that leaves plenty of time for questions for everyone. So this conference, both of these events are all about you. So that's what this webinar was really about. We wanted to hear from you. What do you want to hear more about at the conference? What can we do to make this all about you? So a reminder, use the chat functionality in WebEx, not the Q&A functionality, and please send any questions to all panelists so that we can all read them and respond appropriately. It looks like we already had a few typed in while we were talking there, and the first two are pretty easy. So someone asked if they can get a copy of the slide deck. Yes, absolutely. We're also recording this, so we will pull down the video and share the video as well. And somebody else asked about the agenda. As soon as the webinar is over, you'll actually end up on the gradleaders.com/conference page, and you'll be able to download the agendas there. If not, we've got a slide coming up here that has that URL for both the main conference and connections. You can download them there. Plus, we will be emailing out the agendas here within the next week. And we got another question about the hotel room block only has king beds. Can we get 2 queens instead? Yes, we've actually heard this question a couple times already. If that's something that you need, just reach out to us, the conference committee at conference@gradleaders.com, or your CSM, or if you have a CRM or the support team, anybody here can help you with that. Just let us know. The hotel also can help you with that if you want to talk to the hotel directly. We have another question here about, I'm having trouble finding flights that work. Can we get the discounted hotel room rate for the night before or the last night of the event? And yes, we do have what they call shoulder nights blocked off for the night before, so May 6th, and the last day of the event. So if you need to come in early or stay late, you can still get the discounted I believe it's $149 room rate for those nights as well. And we have one other question so far, so we're going to get out of here really fast unless anybody else has something. Can I just come to the pre-conference connections event and not stay for the main event? And the answer is yes, absolutely. We have a lot of people who are doing that. We have some deans and directors who are coming just to the connections event, and then everybody else on their team is coming for the main event. So yes, you can absolutely do that, and you're welcome to stay for both as well, or you can just come for the main conference obviously as well. We have a few more questions. So the next one is, are the sessions finalized or still being determined? They are not final. I would say probably 27 out of the 30 sessions are pretty close to being finalized, but they are not final yet. So if all of our customers, if everybody on here really wants to talk about something, we can absolutely adapt and change it, but it's pretty close. We have another question about what is the best transportation mode to get from the airport to the hotel? The best transportation mode is probably Uber Uber or Lyft. You can take taxis as well, but that would be my recommendation. It is not very far. The airport is pretty close to the hotel.
We had another question just come in. Will we hear an update about where GradLeaders is headed technologically?
Oh, yes. Yes. At both events, actually, we have sessions where you will not only hear what's coming up on the product roadmap, but also help us shape the product roadmap. So yes, absolutely. Another question about the cost of the social event. The social event at COSI is included, so you don't have to pay extra for that. Everybody can attend. There will be a dinner there and open bar there, so no additional cost whatsoever. It's also in walking distance from the hotel, so we'll just be walking there as groups from the hotel lobby. All right, I think that
One more.
We just got one more.
So the next question is, will I have an opportunity to meet one-on-one with GradLeaders staff?
Oh, yes. Yes, another good question. So yes, we have, if you've been to the conference in the past, we've had one-on-ones for years now. We still have one-on-one sessions. When you register, there's a question that asks, are you interested in having a one-on-one session? And we're going to start scheduling those here actually over the next few weeks. You can obviously sign up for those at any time. If you don't register for a few weeks, you can still get a one-on-one, but we're going to start planning out that schedule here soon. All right. I think that is it. If we missed anybody's questions, we can follow up with you directly after this. Just a couple more slides and we'll wrap this up really early. You all get 30 minutes back in your day. So go register now at gradleaders.com/conference. And for any deans, directors, employer relations people, university relations people, campus recruiters, or MBA recruiters on the webinar who are interested in networking or some more information about connections, you can also register for our pre-conference connections at gradleaders.com/connections. Both of these websites are also where you'll find the latest and greatest agendas that I promised you could download. And with that, we're just going to leave you with a short conference preview trailer video we made for fun. So thanks, everybody. All right, that's it. Thanks again, all. We will see you in May.